One other artist that I do want to talk about besides Bob Kane is a guy named Charles Paris. He's most famous for having worked on the daily newspaper strip. Jerry Robinson turned down this job of inking the newspaper strip because he wanted to stay on the comic books. But Charles Paris takes him up. He inked every single daily strip and every single Sunday strip that was ever released. And he went from being paid $45 a week to work on the comic books up to $85 a week to be working on the comic strip. Yeah.
That's pretty legit.
Yeah. He was making a lot more. And by moving from the books to the strips, he was also no longer required to work in the bullpen. So he starts working from home a lot more instead. And I get the vibe that he's kind of like living the life.
Oh, yeah.
He says, quote, I had a horse out on Long Island. I worked half days.
Had a horse?
Yeah, I had a horse on Long Island. I worked 4 half days a week, and the rest of the time I spent on horseback, except on Mondays. Then I gave the horse the day off. I could ink 2 dailies in the morning and go horseback riding in the afternoon. Now that's the God's truth. I loved it. Inking that newspaper strip was the easiest job I ever had in my entire life.
Oh my God. I can't even imagine. 4 half days. Oh my gosh.
Doesn't that sound like a great job?
That sounds like a great job. And he's getting paid double what he was before.
Yes, he is.
God, that's amazing.
And this is the job Jerry Robinson turned down.
Wow. Well, congrats to Charles Paris. Congrats to him. That's awesome.
He's living the life.
Yeah. Too bad it only lasted, 3 years?
3 years,
and,
yeah.
Yeah.
After the strip ends in 1946, he continues to ink Batman in the comic books. He would do so all the way until 1965, making for a 22-year-long run inking for the character, which is probably one of the longest to ever work on Batman.
Wow, that's impressive. Who was the dude we talked about who inked and he changed technologies? He worked for like 80 years or something.
George Rousseau.
George Rousseau. Got it.
He's been inking and doing backgrounds. So Jerry Robinson
made a great joke in that episode that no one could hear in the recording.
What was it?
So I said, I blame the inker. Like we made some comment, like we talked about inking and how it was like important, but people are downplaying it. And then there was I don't remember the specifics, but something changed that people weren't happy about. And I said, I blame the inker.
So yeah, George Rousseau has been inking and doing backgrounds on basically all the issues we've been reading, including, I think, Batman 16, which we'll read tonight. But it's not to say that Charles Paris had one of the longest careers in the industry. That's not the case. It's longest with one character. George Rousseau would move on to other characters. Jerry Robinson also moves on to other characters, right? Mm-hmm. But Charles Paris exclusively with Batman for 22 years.
That's awesome.